This young man is Giang Ly. 18 years ago, he found himself in a classic transmigration magic school scenario. Relying on his extraordinary talent, he studied relentlessly. He learned all sorts of abilities with a single goal to become the absolute strongest. In this magic academy Manhwa, he was the genius everyone admired. Today was the day of the class awakening, and Giang Ly was feeling incredibly anxious. Everyone believed that with his aptitude, being so outstanding, Giang Ly would surely awaken a hidden class, a common trope in any Isekai school manga. Classes are divided into common classes, high-tier classes, and hidden classes. The power and difficulty of these classes increase in that order, especially the hidden ones. It is no exaggeration to say they are 1 in 10,000. Once awakened, they grant terrifying power, and obviously when someone is this outstanding, it naturally attracts jealousy and resentment from others. This arrogant-looking guy is in Gim, too, and he is one of the people who absolutely despises Giang Ly. Well, if it isn't the genius everyone's watching, Giang Ly, what high-tier class are you planning on awakening today? Gim 2 is one of the 3 geniuses of Kim Than Academy, and his father is a powerful gold-rank class holder. But at school, he was always overshadowed by Giang Ly at the top of the academy magic ranking. In response to this jealous-filled question, Giang Ly just casually replied, "I don't know, that's why I'm here." Gim 2 grabbed Giang Ly to stop him from leaving. "Don't get too cocky. Watch out you don't awaken some trash-tier class. When that happens, don't blame your bro for not giving you any face." Giang Ly, looking annoyed, told him to let go, but Gim 2 stubbornly refused. Giang Ly did not say another word. He just turned and glared, making Gim 2 release his grip. To be honest, Giang Ly was not surprised, just as he expected. He was bound to be the center of attention today. If his awakening failed, it would be a huge embarrassment. To put it bluntly, when a genius fails, they become a laughingstock for the whole world. One by one, his classmates went up to be tested. Class 1, Trong Dai Nungu. Awakening failed. For those students who awaken a common class, do not lose heart. If you work hard to rank up, you still have potential. Now I call the next person. A powerful light suddenly erupted from the stage, making everyone gasp in awe and admiration. This was the sign of a massively successful awakening. The girl Lee Mok Uyen had successfully awakened the high-tier class Swift. Wind Archer. The students below erupted in applause. Wow, as expected of the female genius of our Kim Than Academy. The stage lit up once more as the Class 3 student in Gim 2 successfully awakened the high-tier class. Flame Mage. Even so, Gim 2 looked dissatisfied, but he still put on an arrogant air. Even though it was just a high-tier class, in the eyes of others it was already incredible. You naive fools should not think that working hard like a clown can change anything. Aptitude is something you are born with. He was clearly taking a jab at Giang Ly, but Giang Ly looked completely unfazed. Finally, it was his turn to be called. The teachers were also watching with great anticipation and quiet excitement. That is Giang Ly, the student with the best record in the entire school. Indeed, he is the very definition of an overpowered student Webtoon protagonist. The moment Giang Ly shut his eyes, a powerful light began to radiate from him. A teacher witnessing this immediately shot to his feet. What in the world is this? Such a phenomenon is occurring. Could it be a unique hidden class? Everyone was on the edge of their seats, waiting until the system announced the result. Giang Ly has awakened the common class Mage. The looks on the teachers' faces immediately turned to utter disappointment. What is this? Was he not supposed to be the top student? Down below, guys like Gim 2 could not help but smirk. Heh, heh, ha, ha. Serves you right, you're not even as good as my flame mage. The mocking whispers grew louder and louder. So much for being a genius. Turns out it was all a sham. Lee Muyuan is the really impressive one. They started to turn and suck up to Lee Muyuan, begging to join her team. I'm willing to be your lackey. Giang Ly stood alone on the stage, only able to remain silent as the crowd below hurled insults. Ha ha ha, and they called him an elite student. In the end, he's just a regular mage. Yeah, what a letdown after all that hype. This outcome is a total disgrace. Did you see the principal's face? It's so embarrassing. For Giang Ly, it felt as if his whole world was collapsing. It can't be. Is this really it? However, in his moment of despair, a notification suddenly appeared right in front of him. It read, "Congratulations, host, for awakening the special talent, Auto Max Level Skills." The young man was completely stunned. A special talent? I've never heard of anything like this in this transmigration magic school. Could it be related to how I got here, so this is my skill? This is my... But it hasn't maxed out yet. In the notification bar were 3 skill icons: Fireball, Light Armor, and Meditation. Just a few seconds later, all the skills were instantly pushed to their maximum level, leaving Giang Ly completely astonished. What in the world? I remember the teacher saying that after awakening, every class comes with 3 initial skills. They start at level 1, and as a skill levels up, its power and effectiveness take a massive leap, but the difficulty of leveling up skills is immense. In the entire Academy Magic ranking, there's probably no one who has maxed out a single skill yet. Instantly his despair, his awe, turned into hope, and he was beyond satisfied. So maxing out skills can be this simple. It seems the heavens haven't abandoned me after all auto max level skills. This is the kind of cheat that makes an overpowered student webtoon protagonist seeing Giang and unresponsive. The teacher came over to console him. Giang Ly, are you listening? Don't be discouraged, even though it's not a special class. At least you've successfully awakened. Your future still holds countless opportunities. All the teachers here believe in you. Giang Ly nodded and flashed a bright smile. Thank you, Principal. I will continue to work hard. The principal continued to pat his shoulder reassuringly. Now pull yourself together and head back to class. Despite his comforting words, the principal himself was filled with regret. Such a good kid. What a terrible shame. As Giang Ly walked past the jeering crowd, he thought to himself, people really are pragmatic. More than seeing a genius succeed, they love to watch a genius fail. But I'm afraid I'm about to disappoint all of you. Here at the training grounds of this magic academy, Manhwa Yanshu was using his abilities to practice showing off for everyone to admire. His 2 usual lackeys stood beside him cheering enthusiastically. So amazing. As expected of young Master Yan. Just then, Giang Ly walked by and was called out. Hey, you the common mage. As soon as he said it, he taunted Giang Ly by shooting a burst of fire in his direction. Giang Ly scowled and turned to face him. What was that for? Yanshu smirked provocatively. Oh, I just wanted to invite our resident genius to show us what he's got. Giang Ly waved his hand dismissively. I'm not interested. Just forget it. You guys can practice on your own. I don't even need to practice. This is a classic line from an Isekai school manga, and hearing it made Yanshu's blood boil. He stormed forward aggressively. Cut the crap. Who told you to practice? I'm telling you to show us your talent. Do you dare? Do you dare to fight? A high-ranking flame mage like me. Cat got your tongue. In the end, Giang Ly, you're nothing but a useless coward. Just as he finished speaking, Giang Ly casually flicked his hand downwards, conjuring a flame that shot straight toward Yanshu. The bully was still smirking arrogantly. He scoffed in disdain. You dare use a common fireball spell. A massive explosion erupted from behind, causing him and his 2 cronies to freeze in their tracks. What was that noise? As they turned, they saw all the training dummies were completely incinerated. Ngim too was frozen, solid, absolutely dumbfounded. How is this possible? How could a common mage like you do that? Giang Ly coldly turned and left, not even sparing him a look. Even he was surprised by his own ability. The power of a max-level fireball spell was just too insane, like something straight out of an Isekai school manga. Giang Ly returned home, his mind still racing. Even though the max-level fireball spell is incredibly powerful, that one attack just now consumed half of my mana. I need to level up quickly to increase my mana pool. Suddenly, a familiar voice called out. You're back and didn't even say hello. Go wash your hands, dinner is ready. His mother's name was Dan Qingshui. As they sat down for dinner, he didn't hold back and announced, "Mom, I successfully awakened my powers today. I'm a mage." Hearing this, his mother smiled warmly. A mage? That's wonderful. In a party, you can stay in the back and cast spells from a safe distance. Oh, that reminds me I have something to give you. Giang Ly's curiosity was piqued as his mother brought out a box. This is something your father left for you. He was a powerful awakened too, you know. Giang Ly was stunned. My father. But didn't you always tell me he died before I was born and he was an awakened? A powerful one at that. Then where on earth did he go? Why hasn't he come to see us after all these years? Dan Qingshu replied with a sad voice, I don't know either. All he said was that he had to go to the world's border. There was something very important he had to take care of. He left in a huge rush, but please don't blame him. He always said he wanted you to become a mage. That's the reason I always pushed you to focus on your mage curriculum, hoping you'd succeed in this new life, almost like a transmigration magic school story. As she spoke, tears began to well up in her eyes. Now you're all grown up and you've successfully become a mage. I'm a bit tired. I'm going to my room to rest now. Go on, see what's inside the box. Giang Ly's curiosity piqued. He turned his attention to the box his father left behind and began to open it. A bright light emanated from within. Inside was a class change scroll, along with a note that read, "Using this scroll will allow you to change your class to the powerful illusionist. The condition for the class change is, must be a mage type awakened who has reached." Giang Ly was stunned. A class change scroll that grants a special class, and it requires you to be a gold rank awakened. In this world, the awakened are divided into tiers, much like an academy magic ranking system. These are clear tiers, and once an awakened reaches a certain level and meets the conditions, they can break through to the next rank. Ngim Tu's father is one of the top-ranked, awakened in Jincheng City, but even he is only at the gold rank. For my father to have obtained a scroll like this, just what rank was he, saint, or maybe even a demigod, if he was that strong? Why has there been no word from him in all these years? But right now, I need to focus on leveling up to become an awakened of the gold rank. Plus, the Jincheng City Awakened trial is in 7 days. At that time, the newly awakened of this generation will be participating a real-life version of a Magic Academy Manhwa tournament arc. This is the perfect chance to make some preparations beforehand. The next morning in a public square, a large crowd had gathered. Look at this idiot who overestimates himself. He just awakened and he's already heading into the field to die. You never know, he could have a powerful special class like the main character in an overpowered student webtoon. Are you blind? Look at how scrawny he is. Besides, what else could a mage be? Giang Ly walked past and overheard all their taunts. Suddenly, a person approached and patted his shoulder. Hey kid, judging by your gear, you must be a newly awakened student, right? Want to party up with us? Giang Ly instinctively turned to look. Then 2 guys in her party spoke to the woman. Shu Wei, we're on a mission. How can we bring a liability like him along? Yeah, if he's clueless about the dangers here, that's his problem. Shu Wei, you're too nice. Shu Wei turned back to scold them. How can you say that? Giang Ly gave a forced smile. It's all right, but thanks for the offer. I'll be fine on my own. He then waved goodbye, but Shu Wei ran to stop him. Wait a minute, if you don't want to party up with us, at least take this. She then handed him a vial of mana. Since you're a mage too, you'll probably need this later. Giang Ly accepted it, a warm smile spreading across his face from the stranger's kindness. Thank you. Afterwards, Shu Wei waved. We'll be heading off then. You take care. Deep in the gray forest, a goblin large. Level 4 goblin appeared. Giang Ly hid behind a tree observing it. Seizing the moment it was distracted, he launched a fireball right at it. The goblin couldn't react in time and could only watch helplessly as the fireball hurtled towards it. A massive explosion erupted. Giang Ly approached and saw it had been completely vaporized. He was ecstatic. Just like in an overpowered student webtoon, my max level fireball spell can even one-shot took it out cleanly. However, the massive explosion attracted the attention of other goblins nearby. They immediately turned their heads, and a whole horde appeared right before his eyes. Giang Ly thought to himself, drawn in by the commotion, Perfect. This saves me the trouble of hunting them down one by one. He then activated a skill. Before the mob of monsters could strike, Giang Ly cast his light armor spell. A barrier of light materialized, blocking the goblins' attacks. From within, he looked down on them with contempt. A max-level light armor spell is at the top of the Academy magic ranking, for a reason. You think you can break it that easily? As time passed, Giang Ly's fireball spell came off cooldown. He slammed a powerful blast directly into the ground, and the resulting shockwave sent the entire monster horde flying. A system notification popped up. Level increased by 1. He was now level 2. But to Giang Ly, this amount of experience was still far too little. While he was lost in thought, he saw even more goblins approaching. Giang Ly smirked. It doesn't matter how many of you come. The result will always be the same. He prepared to snap his fingers and cast another fireball, but reality hit hard. This time the spell didn't appear. Giang Ly froze, completely baffled. He pulled up his status window and exclaimed, "What the heck? I'm out of mana already. I only cast 2 fireballs and 1 light armor spell, and I'm completely drained," Giang Ly wondered. Maybe it's because I just leveled up. So my max mana increased, but when he looked at his shield, he breathed a sigh of relief because the energy shield from his light armor spell still had half its energy left. Giang Ly told himself that after he finished them off, he would use his meditation spell to recover his mana. Besides, they can't break through my shield anyway. Giang Ly bent down and picked up a club from a goblin that had already croaked. He pointed it at the approaching horde. "All right, you guys can entertain me for a bit. Let me show you the power of a mage in this transmigration magic school world." Transmigration. In close combat, he whacked a goblin with the club, but its health only dropped by a mere 10 points. The damage was practically nothing. Giang Ly was dismayed. As expected, a mage's physical damage is pathetically low, but for him, it was enough, because the monsters couldn't land a single hit on him. After a long and grueling battle, the protective shield from his light armor spell finally depleted, but Giang Ly had wiped out the mob of monsters. Wiping the sweat from his brow, he thought about how he'd finally ground them all down, but his physical damage was just too low. His level increased by 1. Currently, Giang Ly's only offensive magic was the fireball spell, and his current mana was only enough to cast it twice, not to mention the light armor spell was also a major drain. He realized this level of efficiency was way too slow. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed through the forest, sending a flock of birds scattering into the air. Giang Ly looked toward the sound. He guessed the sound might be a giant goblin. He was startled when he realized it was an elite monster that had appeared. Taking down an elite monster this early on would probably grant a massive amount of experience. It showed up at the perfect time. A smile spread across his face. But when he tried to cast his light armor spell, no armor appeared. He checked his status and realized his mana was completely depleted. Oh, this is just freaking great. The level 10 Great Axe Goblin angrily raised its massive axe, preparing to bring it down. Giang Ly had no way to face it head-on and could only dodge to the side. Breaking out in a cold sweat, he thought to himself that this was going to be a huge problem. But then smaller goblins started appearing behind him too. Giang Ly glanced back and sighed. He'd almost forgotten about the small fry. In this dire situation, Giang Ly told himself to stay calm and think of a strategy. He considered his first option. Find an opportunity to use his meditation skill to recover mana, but in this situation there was absolutely no opening. The second option was to use the only mana potion he possessed. However, this potion would restore less than a third of his mana, enough to activate the light armor spell, but not enough to attack. The third option was to make a temporary retreat, recover his stats, and then come back, but running away wasn't his style. This wasn't some easygoing transmigration magic school story. If he waited for his mana to recover naturally, it would take a full 24 hours, and the elite monster could be snatched by someone else. In a flash, Giang Ly opened the mana potion, chugged it dry, and tossed the bottle aside. Just as the Great Axe Goblin swung its axe down, he activated the light armor spell. The shield appeared just in time, blocking the attack. During that window, Giang Ly sat down and began using his meditation skill to recover his mana. The great axe goblin furiously attacked the defensive barrier, but couldn't break through. Time ticked by, and just as the shield was about to shatter, Giang Ly's mana had recovered to over half full. He stood up, his eyes gleaming, and said, "That's enough. Aren't you tired of attacking yet?" Giang Ly pointed his finger at the boss and gifted it a fireball spell. The orb flew straight into the great axe goblin's weak spot, sending it flying backward and crashing into the mob of smaller monsters, creating a massive explosion. A system notification appeared. Successful attack on a weak point. Inflicting a critical hit, Giang Ly wiped the sweat from his forehead. That was too close for comfort. A max-level meditation skill is truly useful. A notification popped up again. Level increased by 4 current level 7. The young man was ecstatic. A jump like that would skyrocket his academy magic ranking if he had one. To gain 4 levels at once from one elite monster was insane. Giang Ly walked over to the monster corpses to see if there was any good loot. Oh, 2 pieces of equipment. HTS-grade gloves of agility and refined boots. But considering his current combat strength, this wasn't a case of him killing monsters. It was the monsters nearly killing him. This upgrade to his beginner gear probably wasn't a huge boost, and it was a bit ugly too. I'll just hold on to it and find a chance to sell it. Besides, he was no main character from an overpowered student webtoon. With his current mana pool, he still couldn't cast a 3rd fireball at full power. On top of that, he had to risk his life luring monsters into one spot every time. This level of efficiency meant grinding mobs all day wouldn't even compare to fighting a single elite monster. If only he had some other area of effect attack spells with low mana cost like the heroes in a Magic Academy Manhwa things would be so much better. But just as he was feeling dejected, Giang Ly spotted a book. His eyes immediately lit up as if he'd struck gold. Holy crap, it's actually a skill book, and even novice adventurers can learn it. He opened it, wondering what skill this could be. Just then, a bolt of lightning shot out from the skill book, stunning Giang Ly. Electrofield Art. I remember this is an area of effect skill. Electrofield Art level 10, cooldown 0 point. 5 seconds, consumes 6 mana points, can chain to multiple targets, has a paralysis effect, and its damage scales with the user's level. Giang Ly laughed with excitement. So, it's a scaling skill. This is straight out of an overpowered student webtoon. Plus it has crowd control. I'm dying to test it out. Time passed, and deep in the forest a group of goblins were sleeping in their camp when suddenly a bolt of lightning struck, paralyzing the monsters and sending them into a rage. Giang Ly still activated his power. One hit wasn't enough to take them out. Then have another. The monsters were immediately struck by a second blast. This time, they were completely wiped out. Giang Ly thought to himself, although the damage isn't as high as Fireball, the mana cost for 4 casts of Electrofield Art is barely equal to 1 Fireball, and the cooldown is way faster. Plus, I don't even have to group up the mobs. Isn't this exactly what I needed? Now that I have a way to clear out the small fry, the next target is the boss of the Grey Forest. If an elite monster can give this much in rewards and experience, the boss area must be even better. But learning from my last mistake, I need to fully recover my mana first. Time slowly passed. Once his mana was full, he resumed his search for the boss's location. Is this a goblin tribe? The boss area is probably in here. Giang Ly scanned the area and saw that they were all fast asleep. They're probably all out cold. While they're in a deep sleep, I'll quickly find the boss, hit it with a couple of fireballs, and then we'll see. But halfway there, he accidentally stepped on a rotten twig, making a loud snap. Oh, crap. Instantly, a goblin right beside him was woken up. Giang Ly grabbed the stick using all his might, wanting to take this one out as quickly as possible. Just be a good little monster for me, but he wasn't a warrior or an assassin, so his attack was like a mosquito bite. Giang Ly forced a smile. I knew it. Just then it started to go berserk, growling to alert its comrades. The others heard it and immediately woke up, switching into hunt mode of the 36. Stratagems running is the best one. Giang Ly ran while screaming, "Stop chasing me!" Stop chasing me. I know I was wrong. I still have to save my mana. To fight the boss, but one of them used a rock from the roadside and threw it at Giang Ly's head. The furious young man turned back. I told you not to chase me. You guys asked for this. You want to do it the hard way? Fine, then you can all just die. He then used his lightning skill, zapping the entire mob until they were paralyzed, instantly wiping out half their health bars. The cooldown was only 2 seconds. Giang Ly immediately used it, a second time on the monsters. Take this one too. And just like that, they all lay motionless. Giang Ly had finished them off cleanly. I told you, why did you have to provoke me? But it seems I can't see the boss. Could it be that it's not in this tribe? While standing still, Giang Ly suddenly felt the ground shake. Is this an earthquake? Why is this happening all of a sudden? But he didn't notice the stone statue behind him beginning to glow. His mind hadn't registered this, yet still worried about what was happening. Why is it suddenly like this? Flashing back to not long ago, 3 guys were wandering in the forest looking for Giang Ly. It's so late and he's still in the forest grinding levels. Isn't that just asking for trouble? This is our chance to cripple that kid Giang Ly. Our cousin will definitely be thrilled. I wonder what kind of reward Uncle will give me then. This guy is Yan Quan, the cousin of the blonde-haired Yan Shu, told his boss. It's this late, you think that kid Jiang is really still in bed? Ian scowled grimly. What, you don't believe me? The blonde guy waved his hands in fear. No, how could I dare doubt you, brother Ian? What I meant was, it's dangerous outside at night. If a novice-level adventurer runs into an elite monster or a boss, they basically can't handle it. The 3 of them were talking when they suddenly felt a tremor. Ian growled, this reaction. Someone triggered the boss zone. Looks like we're in for an unexpected prize. The boss here is a goblin priest, a tough opponent even for someone high on the Academy Magic ranking. We 3 Black Iron rank adventurers can barely handle it. No matter who's fighting the boss right now, let's let them wear it down first. We'll swoop in and steal the kill. Cutting back to Giang Ly, who looks like he stepped right out of an Isekai school manga, he had also realized what was happening. So this is the boss of the Grey Forest area. Its aura doesn't seem as intimidating as the last elite monster. But when the info panel showed it was a level 20 goblin priest boss, it began. Giang Ly smirked. Oh, you're a mage too. He then summoned his own fireball. But your casting speed, is way too slow. He hurled it directly at the creature. A massive explosion erupted and a system notification popped up. Attack successful. Weak point hit, critical damage dealt, but from within the flames its silhouette emerged, firing an orb of ice. It hurtled towards Giang Ly, but he had anticipated the counterattack and already had his shield up. I knew it. Wouldn't be that simple. But he never expected that a single skill from it would wipe out half of his shield's durability. A warning flashed level 5 ice arrow attack from the goblin priest boss. Giang Ly's jaw dropped. The damage is that high. The goblin was also feeling the effects of his flames, using its cloak for cover. But as the fire subsided, it looked all around. It couldn't find Giang Ly anywhere, leaving it standing there alone. Giang Ly had already hidden behind a tree, trying to recover his mana. The goblin grew impatient and began using its skill again, blasting tree after tree to find Giang Ly's hiding spot. He watched in terror as the tree right next to him was shattered. I must have hit its weak point earlier. That's it. That cloak it's wearing must have fire and magic resistance. After clearing out the small fry, I'm suddenly up against a boss. With my current mana, there's no way I can take it down, while it still hasn't found me. I need to recover some mana first. As time passed, the boss continued its rampage, whittling down the trees in the area. The surrounding forest was now heavily damaged. This time it moved towards Giang Ly's hiding spot and launched a skill. It pierced right through the tree trunk, shattering Giang Ly's final defensive layer, while he was still concentrating on restoring his mana. Hearing his defense shattered, Giang Ly's eyes snapped open to look at the creature. It cackled, delighted to have finally found him. It laughed gleefully and began to condense a massive ice spell in the sky above. Giang Ly thought to himself, this time, I'm really done for. He glanced at his mana bar, which was still dangerously low. Not even enough mana for a fireball spell. I can only, risk it all. Giang Ly unleashed a lightning skill at the boss. This time the lightning strikes came down faster and more numerous than before. The creature let out a piercing shriek as its spellcasting was interrupted. Its entire body went numb, and it fell to its knees, paralyzed. Giang Ly smirked. So the paralysis effect of a max-level lightning spell is enough to break its casting. This is the kind of power you'd expect from the protagonist of an overpowered student webtoon. Giang Ly smirked. The paralyzing effect of his max-level electro-void art was actually able to interrupt its spellcasting. What a perfect opportunity. He then dashed towards the boss and snatched its cloak. The system announced item acquired, a valuable cloak. Giang Ly smirked sinisterly. Without this, you won't be able to block my spells, will you? He thought to himself. That's right, I'll snatch its counter gear first and then hit it with guerrilla tactics. Holding the cloak, he felt much more confident. Now it's my turn to strike back. Giang Ly paralyzed it once more to buy himself some time. After a moment, the paralysis wore off and it struggled to its feet. Without its protective cloak, its body was racked with pain. It then furiously radiated a murderous aura trying to find Giang Ly, but a quick scan of the area revealed nothing. Finally, it spotted a cloak, and fluttering just behind a bush. It let out a smirk and began to channel its skill. A single blast shot straight towards the decoy. The tree was instantly obliterated, creating a massive explosion. From behind, a familiar voice called out, "Looking for something? The game is over." This time, he had enough mana to create a fireball. He unleashed a powerful strike directly at the boss, which could only use its own skill to form a defensive barrier. But against the max-level skill of this overpowered student webtoon protagonist, the shield shattered in an instant. The young man successfully struck its weak point, landing a critical hit that left the boss's health bar dangerously low. You may have a defensive skill, but I have a max-level fireball spell. Against me, it's like you have no fire resistance. Even with a strong defense, you're still taking massive damage. But running into me today? That's just your bad luck. Giang Ly gripped his wooden staff and advanced on the boss. This time, he was determined to finish it off for good. A notification popped up. Level increased by 3. Current level is now 10. Along with the level up, a pile of rare gear dropped. Not bad at all. I can probably use this staff. Giang Ly then examined the fire-resistant cloak it dropped. The stats appeared quality black iron. Requires level 5 or higher. Note: equipping this cloak enhances immunity to fire-type damage. Current: durability 0. Damaged. Giang Ly frowned. So that's what it was. It's just a cloak specifically targeting the fire attribute. No wonder it could resist my fireball spell. Besides, it's completely destroyed now. Seems pretty useless. More importantly, the skill book. Giang Ly opened it. A notification read, Ice Arrow Art, learned initial level 5. Current: for level Ice Arrow Art level 10. Cooldown 3 seconds. Cast time 2 seconds. Mana cost 200 points. Skill description: can inflict massive damage on a single target. The amount of damage scales with the user's level. A look of joy spread across Giang Ly's face once more. If level 5 Ice Arrow Art was that powerful, I can't imagine how effective it'll be at max level. Giang Ly then inspected the staff the boss had been using. Goblin's Staff of Grudge. Magic Penetration. Plus 10. Quality Bronze. Requires Mage class level 7 or higher. Note: be careful, this staff will cause all goblins to treat you as an enemy. Giang Ly thought, so it's a bronze-grade staff, and it even has a magic penetration effect. No wonder my max-level light armor spell couldn't take a single hit. With this in the future, I'll be able to handle monsters with innate magic resistance. This is how you climb the Academy Magic ranking. But suddenly, a voice came from behind Giang Ly. Hey kid, don't move. Put your hands up, a blonde-haired man said to another named Yan Quan. Big bro, there's no one else around. This kid's party must have been wiped out. The man named Yan Quan pointed at Giang Ly. You're Giang Ly, aren't you? Awakening as a professional and immediately defeating a regional boss is pretty good. But it's a shame about the teammates you abandoned. They were probably stronger than you. Giang Ly raised his hands and curiously asked, How do you know my name? The guy started posturing arrogantly. I am Gim Quan of the Ngim family from Golden Citadel City. I heard you used to bully my cousin all the time back at the Magic Academy. Did you really think the Ngim family had nobody to back him up? Giang Ly forced a smile, feigning fear, but he was actually still trying to recover his mana. Ah, so you're a student, Ngim's cousin. Student Ngim is a genius, always at the top of our academy magic ranking. How would I ever dare to bully him? As it happens, I have a few small items. Perhaps you'd like to see if there's anything you like. Ngim Kwan scoffed arrogantly. Save it. Befriend you. Don't even think about it. He then radiated a menacing aura towards Giang Ly. Now tell me, do you want to keep your arm or your leg? I'll try to go easy on you. Giang Ly sighed. We're all acquaintances here. There's no need to start making threats and getting physical the moment we meet is there. Just then, one of the lackeys began to sense something was off about Giang Ly. Boss, this kid is using a mana recovery meditation technique. But Ngim Kwan remained confident. Oh, so what if he recovers all his mana? You think the three of us all Black Iron rank professionals can't handle a single entry-level kid, especially when he's just a common mage? Only then did Giang Ly drop his timid act. Oh, so the three of you are Black Iron rank professionals. Well then, that's just perfect. Hearing this tone from Giang Ly, Ngim Kwan calmly replied, You're not thinking of trying to take us down with you, are you? Let me tell you, we won't even give you a chance to cast a spell. But the moment the words left his mouth, Giang Ly had already used a lightning spell to paralyze them. He stood in front of Ngim Kwan and cracked his knuckles menacingly. It's a classic trope. The villain dies because he talks too much. I was waiting for my mana to recover. What were you guys waiting for? Ngim Kwan's face twisted in rage. Damn it. How can you cast spells so fast? Who knows? It's like something out of an overpowered student webtoon, Giang Ly said, activating a fireball in his hand and blasting the group with it. A moment later, Giang Ly had stripped all three of them bare. As expected of Black Iron rank professionals. They really had a lot of good stuff on them. Giang Ly was in an excellent mood as he stuffed all the loot into his backpack. Why would I ever grind monsters again? Robbing people is so much more profitable, just like in an Isekai school manga. Still, I only gained 3 levels from that regional boss. Looks like I need to find a new grinding spot tomorrow. 3 Black Iron ranks trying to rob an entry-level player only to have the tables turned on them completely. It was such a humiliating defeat that even if they made it back, they'd be too ashamed to ever speak of it. Night fell in the small town of Rose. Giang Ly panted with exhaustion as he walked, carrying the heavy load of loot. Man, carrying all this stuff from one trip is killing me, he thought. If only I had a spatial storage item, this would be so much easier. With that thought, Giang Ly arrived at the Golden Dragon Treasure Pavilion. This must be the place. As soon as he stepped inside, an enthusiastic employee greeted him. Welcome. How can I help you? Giang Ly immediately dumped the entire contents of his bag onto the counter. I'd like to sell some equipment and materials. Seeing the massive pile, the employee managed a strained smile. Please wait just a moment, I'll calculate the total for you. A short while later, the employee returned. Sir, I've finished the appraisal. Based on current market prices, the total comes to 972,000 flame. How about we just round that up to an even 1 million for you? Hearing this, Giang Ly was in disbelief. 1 million. My mother's monthly salary is only 30,000, and I just made 1 million so easily. This must be what it's like in one of those transmigration magic school stories. This truly is the difference between an ordinary person and a professional. If things keep going like this, I'll be living comfortably soon. Giang Ly asked the staff, Do you sell basic skill books here? The staff replied, We don't. Please follow me. Giang Ly followed her upstairs to the next floor where a girl was standing above. She spotted him and immediately recognized Giang Ly. It was Mo Qing, the genius prodigy from the Golden Citadel Academy. A servant approached and said, Young miss, everything is prepared. Meanwhile, inside the Golden Dragon Pavilion's book repository, Giang Ly got straight to the point. I need basic mage-type skills. Do you have any recommendations? The cheerful attendant pulled out a huge pile of various books. These are all skills that a novice mage can learn. You can pick a few that you like. There's Windblade Ice Arrow, Slow Earth Spike, and Probe. They're all D-rank skills. The price is 600,000 flame dragon coins. Giang Ly thought for a moment. I can't believe one book costs 600,000. It looks like my 1,000,000 coins won't let me spend freely. For now, I'll have to buy something cheaper just to get by. I've already mastered Fireball, Lightning Arc, and Ice Arrow. For now, I'm not lacking in single target or area of effect attacks. For defense, I have Light Armor. Although Lightning Arc has a stun effect, the duration is too short. I should probably buy a crowd control skill. With that decided, Giang Ly picked up the slow skill book. I'll take this one. The book's description read, slow level 10, 1 second cooldown 0 point, 4 second cast time, 2 second duration, 30 mana cost. Skill description causes the target's speed to decrease. The slowing effect is dependent on the user's level. Giang Ly thought to himself, I still need to solve my mana limit issue. I'll use the rest of the money for support items. He then smiled and asked again, Oh, right, do you sell things like mana potions here? The staff replied, Please wait a moment. In a reception room, a conversation was underway. Miss Mo, we've gathered the intel. In the Gale Plains, a black iron rank hidden dungeon has indeed appeared, but its entrance is unstable, so it'll take a bit more time to locate. Mo Ching smiled and said, That's fine. As long as we've confirmed the entrance is within the Gale Plains, I'll go find it myself tomorrow. Thank you, Manager Lin. Manager Lin replied humbly. It's my pleasure. Mo Ching's thoughts then drifted back to Giang Ly. I heard that there was an accident during Giang Ly's awakening ceremony, and he ended up as just an ordinary mage. He shouldn't be able to afford a place like this. Did I misremember him? But her thoughts were suddenly interrupted by a voice. Young Miss Young. Miss, what are you thinking about? She snapped out of it and replied bashfully. Oh, it's nothing. If you can conquer this hidden dungeon, young miss, your rank will surely skyrocket. Reaching the Black Iron tier shouldn't be a problem at all. This will be a huge boost to your Academy Magic ranking before the trial competition. Next week, you'll surely be able to overwhelm the young lady from the Lee family. Right, we shouldn't delay. Uncle Fu have Mo Da and the others. Gather here. They'll enter the hidden dungeon with me. Yes, young miss. The scene shifts to the Gale Plains where crazed wolves were charging at Giang Ly. He casually used his staff to cast a lightning skill, paralyzing them as their health bars dropped by half. As his level increases, his magic damage gets higher too. This overpowered student Webtoon protagonist can now take down goblins with just one cast of lightning arc, finishing them in an instant. While Giang Ly was lost in thought, a wolf lunged from behind him, but as it got close, it was blocked by his defensive shield. He sighed. I guess there's no helping it. Then he started kiting, running around to group the wolves together while waiting for his cooldowns to reset. Once his skills were ready, he turned back to use lightning, but unexpectedly their speed allowed them to dodge the bolts of electricity he unleashed. Giang Ly was shocked. These Gale wolves could actually evade his lightning arcs. If that's the case, then he used the new skill he had just bought, Delay, which shackled the wolves' speed, reducing their mobility to a minimum. Giang Ly was amazed, using it for the first time. So this is a max-level delay spell. It casts instantly with no tells, making it impossible to dodge, just like something from an but it's single target, and using 3 charges at once is a real luxury. I need to finish these guys off quickly before other Gale wolves arrive. A moment later, Giang Ly had to chug another mana potion. His level had now risen to 11. He said cheerfully, Good thing I bought a support item from the Golden Dragon Pavilion last night. My monster hunting efficiency is much higher today. Now then, what about that elite monster? How should I deal with this one? Spotting a massive, ferocious pack leader, a level 20, blood-patterned giant wolf, Giang Ly immediately ducked behind a boulder, his eyes glinting with cunning. While it was distracted and the pack wasn't paying attention, he stealthily used a skill. Lightning paralyzed the smaller wolves. Giang Ly quickly rushed in with a fireball in hand. Now's the time to take out the Alpha. First, an explosion erupted, striking its weak point and successfully landing a critical hit. The smaller monsters were instantly defeated, but the blood-patterned giant wolf survived. Giang Ly focused. Next up, it's a one-on-one fight. It roared, opening its mouth to reveal sharp fangs and charged at Giang Ly. He smirked. You should behave yourself, and used bind. The spell hit the wolf. Its charge came to an abrupt halt, its body frozen in place, unable to get any closer. Giang Ly slowly walked towards it. Although I don't know the weak spot of a gale wolf, one thing's for sure. And anything with this much fur is afraid of fire. Seeing the fireball in Giang Ly's hand, the wolf began to panic. Once again, an explosion was triggered. By the fireball. Congratulations. You have successfully attacked a weak point, causing a critical hit. Level up by 2, current level 13. Log obtained loot, black iron gauntlet, black iron ring, even though they're just black iron grade equipment. At least they're small. I wonder how much money they'll sell for. Giang Ly tossed them into his backpack, but suddenly he felt a powerful vibration as his staff on the ground began to shake. He looked fearfully towards the distance where a cloud of dust was slowly rolling in. An enormous pack of wolves was charging his way. Oh, holy crap. I only killed one elite monster. You don't need to come after me for revenge like this, do you? Giang Ly then pulled another mana potion from his storage pouch. He prepared for the next wave of attacks, but before he could even drink it, the wolf pack was upon him. He thought he was a goner, but the pack completely ignored him and ran straight past. Whew, that was close. So they weren't coming for me. But then his brain kicked into gear. Wait, that's not right. Wolves are pack animals. A gathering of this scale can only mean one thing, a wolf king. This was a classic someone triggered the boss zone. This isn't some friendly competition for the Yak Academy magic ranking. I can't let someone else steal my boss. Giang Ly immediately grabbed all his gear and chased after the wolf pack. This whole scenario felt like it was ripped straight from an Isekai school manga, with different factions clashing over a major event. Elsewhere, Shu Wei and her 2 companions were surrounded by a group of bandits. This chaotic scene was like something from a cutthroat Magic Academy manhwa. They were taking advantage of the chaos to rob them. She yelled, "What kind of heroes are you?" But the words had barely left his mouth when an arrow pierced his teammate's throat. We may not be the toughest guys around, but you can only blame yourselves for being so stupid. Coming to fight a boss this openly without any backup. If we don't gank you, who will we gank? The opposing group sneered. Your gear is ours, and the blood-veined Wolf King is ours too. Shu Wei's team leader replied, Fine, the gear and the blood-veined Wolf King are all yours. The bandits erupted in laughter, ha ha ha, of course. But you know, I've had a change of heart. Hand over that priestess behind you. After I've had my fun with her, I'll naturally let you go. He said, his face twisted with desire. Shu Wei was terrified, Captain. The captain put on a despicable look and said, Shu Wei, don't blame me. I want to live. He then turned to grab her as a scapegoat. Captain, don't come over here. Shu Wei cried out, her voice shaking as she pleaded, Don't come over here. But just then a bolt of lightning shot from the distance, striking the bandits and making the traitorous captain freeze. Everyone immediately looked toward the source of the lightning. The red-haired bandit leader snarled, Who the hell dares to ruin my fun? Show yourself. He glared into the cloud of dust where a figure was slowly walking out. Giang Ly smirked. It's not even dark and you're already out robbing people. Such dedication. He then held out his hand, conjuring a fireball like some kind of overpowered student Webtoon protagonist. But as he spoke, another bandit snuck up from behind, swinging a blade at him. Giang Ly, as if he already knew this was coming, turned his head. I wasn't finished speaking. Don't interrupt. He then gifted the man a fireball right to the face. The explosion horrified the bandits. The traitorous captain with Shu Wei seized the chance to drop his sword and flee for his life. Her gaze upon seeing him filled with both shock and immense relief. It's you. The bandit leader was also stunned to see Giang Ly approach. So he had backup. He took out my men with a single blow. This guy's power is off the charts. I wonder where he'd place on the Academy magic ranking. But no matter what, he's just a mage, he roared, commanding his remaining men. Everyone charge. Don't give him a chance to cast his spells. But Giang Ly's expression was one of utter boredom. Why is every thug the same? Then another fireball appeared in his hand. He used a fireball spell combined with a spinning motion, a technique you'd only see in a top-tier Magic Academy manhwa, directly blasting back all. Are you all so eager to die? The bandit leader was now sweating bullets, tears of pure terror streaming down his face. No, impossible. It's clearly just a basic mage skill. Why is it so powerful? His knowledge of magic is unreal, as if he came from some transmigration magic school. He quickly abandoned his weapon, throwing it to the ground in unconditional surrender. Sir, this is all a misunderstanding. He then glanced over at Shu Wei. You can take her and go. The blood-veined Wolf King is in the cave. Giang Ly had heard enough. If you chose to attack me, then you should be prepared to face the consequences. Enough with the pathetic excuses. Immediately after, Giang Ly aimed an ice arrow spell right at him. A single shot pierced through his body. As he was dying, he still managed to scream, "My Blood Wolf Mercenary Guild will not forgive you." And just like that, he dropped dead. Giang Ly smirked as he went to loot their bodies. Being able to cast so many skills in a row like this, it seems the boost from leveling up was massive. Just then, Shu Wei walked over and said shyly, I thank you for saving me. I never expected you to be so strong. I was worried about you for no reason before." Shu Wei looked incredibly bashful. Seeing this, Giang Ly responded with a cheerful smile. "It's no problem at all. You saved me once before, too. So we're even now." "Right? I was just about to go hunt a boss. Wanna join?" Hua Vi asked as she walked, glancing over at him. She thought to herself, we just finished fighting those thugs and now he wants to challenge a boss. He's like an overpowered student Webtoon protagonist. Is it because he has a powerful hidden class? After the two ventured deeper inside, they saw the level 25 boss, the blood-patterned Wolf King, sleeping. Hua Vi thought to herself. So, this is the blood-patterned Wolf King. This feels like a boss fight straight out of an Isekai school manga. I'm only level 20 and just recently promoted. She glanced worriedly at Giang Ly, but he already had a fireball ready in his hand and instantly hurled it at the sleeping boss. You never know until you try. And just like that, a flame erupted. Giang Ly watched and thought, why didn't it register a critical hit? I guess this boss's fire resistance isn't low. The Wolf King emerged from the flames, its health barely dropping. It let out a guttural growl, "Intruders must die," and then charged straight at Giang Ly. The young man thought, I can't believe it can speak human language. Are all bosses this intelligent? The boss's fire resistance isn't low, but it seems it doesn't have any general magic resistance. He then dodged to the side, avoiding the attack. I think I can do this. Giang Ly cast a delay spell, causing its speed to drop rapidly. But it still leaped onto a boulder and lunged at him again. Without hesitation, he cast light armor, creating a protective shield around his body. A single attack from the beast left the shield with just a sliver of health. As expected of a boss, it almost shattered my shield, and even with its speed reduced, it's still this agile. All right then, I guess I have to get serious now. Then Giang Ly used his ice arrow spell. Hua Vi didn't just stand by either. She began casting a magic spell, a basic amplification spell right at Giang Ly's feet. Here, I'll buff your magic attack power, she shouted, wondering what his academy magic ranking would even be. To his surprise, it dodged. She watched in disappointment. It dodged. But this was all part of Giang Ly's plan. I already predicted that. Giang Ly instantly redirected the arrow. Its straight trajectory suddenly curved a feat you'd only see in a top-tier Magic Academy manhwa, striking directly at its underbelly. The attack log displayed weak point hit successful critical strike. The boss's health bar dropped twice as fast. Giang Ly smirked. Learned this little trick from you bosses, he thought to himself. So the weak point for wolf-type beasts is their underbelly. It's like I have cheat knowledge from. Its health dropped to half and its body began to tremble. It let out a furious roar and went berserk. She shouted a warning. Be careful, the boss is enraged. Suddenly, a pack of smaller wolves appeared from behind, rushing to protect their leader. Giang Ly realized it instantly. I can't believe this boss can summon minions. She quickly cast another buff on him and helped replenish his mana. Seeing the pack of wolves, Giang Ly didn't hesitate for a second. He gifted them a fireball and notifications for experience points started flooding in as he wiped them out. He thought to himself, so that's the trick. That's the This cave is too small. Summoning so many minions actually hinders the Wind Wolf's signature agility. Giang Ly then taunted it. Hey, use that skill one more time and I'll spare you for now. Hearing this, the beast roared in fury. Once again, it summoned another wave of minions. Giang Ly grinned. That's more like it. Then he hit it with another fireball. With a massive explosion, the minions were instantly wiped out. The experience points from the smaller wolves kept, adding 20 points for Giang Ly. The young man was panting from exhaustion, while his support Hua Vi was starting to doze off, but she still received 10 experience points for each kill. Giang Ly chugged mana potions to recover, and the system log displayed level increased by 1. 10 experience points for each one. Giang Ly continuously drank mana potions to recover. The log showed level up by 1. At level 15, Giang Ly tossed a mana potion to the ground and said, let's keep going. He thought if he'd known the boss had this skill, why would I have bothered hunting other monsters? The boss was now completely exhausted without a single drop of mana left. Giang Ly still aimed an ice arrow at it. Oh, you're not doing so well, are you? Well, there's no other way. I'll just have to hold back my tears and take the last bit of value you have left. Then Giang Ly fired the ice arrow skill. The boss couldn't believe that this time the target was actually it, demon. You're the real demon. Realizing that Giang Ly had drained every last bit of its strength before finishing it off, it could only despair. Just then a surprise notification popped up, making her turn her head. Log level increased by 1. Current level 2, Giang Ly also leveled up, hitting level 16. The young man laughed and said, I managed to grind 3 whole levels here and got a ton of drops. What a steal. Chu Wei looked over, replaying the entire boss fight in her mind. To think someone would use the boss's own summoning skill to farm experience points. This is straight out of an Overpowered student webtoon. Giang Ly called out to her. Chu Wei, come here for a second. Me. She walked over. Giang Ly held out a staff towards her. This is your share. Mine. But I didn't do anything, Giang Ly explained. Didn't you help me recover mana and boost my magic damage? You're an excellent support, better than any I've seen in a Won Magic Academy manhwa. If we run into any danger, I'll still need your help. Chu Wei took the staff in her hands, thinking to herself, it seems I'm still quite important to him. After that, the two left the cave. Giang Ly opened his status window. The boss had dropped 2 skill books. I forgot to check their effects. I remember they were Light Body Technique and Tidal Marsh Technique. Light Body Technique can increase my own movement speed. No wonder the Wolf King could still move even after being hit by my slow spell. Then there's the Tidal Marsh Technique. It's said to be able to control multiple enemies at once. I'll have to find a chance to test it out. But while he was lost in thought, Chu Wei called out, Giang Ly, hurry over here and look. It's an orchid grass. Although it has no effect on job holders for ordinary people, it's a high-grade medicinal herb that can cure 100 ailments. It could probably sell for a good price. Chu Wei plucked it and handed it to Giang Ly. 1 for you and 1 for me. Perfect. Thanks. My mother is an ordinary person, and years of hard work have left her with many old ailments. With this, I hope she can get a little healthier. While smiling, she noticed something different about a large rock, Giang Ly. Look. There's a light coming from that stone wall. Without hesitation, he brought out his fireball. There seems to be something inside the wall. Step back a bit. Then he immediately shattered it. As the dust settled, Giang Ly was astonished. A secret instance dungeon. It's like I'm the main character in a transmigration magic school story. A notification appeared as the two approached to inspect it. Discovered Black Iron Tier Secret Instance Dungeon Level 25. Entrance to the Dark Altar. It required between 2 and 6 players, all level 23 or below. Chu Wei cautioned him. It looks a bit dangerous. Maybe we should go back and prepare a little. After all, we know where the entrance is now. Giang Ly immediately disagreed. No way. If you feel it's dangerous, you can go back first. But if you agree to follow me, then don't worry. I'm here, I'll protect you. After hearing this, a sense of reassurance washed over Chu Wei. All right, I'll do my best. If things get really dangerous, I'll buy you time. With that, the two of them stepped inside. Inside, you have entered the Dark Altar. Secret Instance Dungeon. Stop the ritual of the Dark Mage Garu. A Dark Mage. This is way more intense than any Isekai school manga I've ever read. That means it could drop gear for mages. If I get some good stuff, I'll shoot to the top of any Academy magic ranking. Giang Ly's mood instantly brightened, and he let out a whoop of "Hoo, we're finally here!" But as he ran, his eyes caught something unusual, and he suddenly pulled Huawei into hiding, into a corner. "Get down!" Seeing his sudden action, she was startled. "What's going on all of a sudden?" he said. "Look over there." It was a level 20 skeleton knight standing guard. Giang Ly said, "Just as I thought, this dungeon is no joke. Even the mobs are level 20. It looks like clearing this dungeon won't be easy." But while the two were looking ahead, a group of skeleton knights flew in from behind, shouting, "Outsiders! What are you eavesdropping on? Die!" Then they charged. They're right at him with their deathly claws. Giang Ly thought to himself, "Good thing these skeletons aren't very smart. They didn't attack head-on or I wouldn't have been able to react. Let's try this new skill." Giang Ly pressed both hands down. Mud Swamp Technique. A D-rank basic skill that creates a 30-meter radius swamp. Enemies entering are bound, their movement speed reduced by 90% for 4 seconds. It consumes 10 mana points, 6 seconds. The cooldown is 8 seconds. The ground began to turn into a deep quagmire, making it impossible to move. The group of knights, advancing towards him, were immediately halted. Then they toppled over as the ground sank and they lost their balance. Seizing the opportunity, Giang Ly summoned a fireball and hurled it at the knights, one-shotting them instantly. He thought to himself, "Wow, the range of a max-level mud swamp technique is this huge. When facing multiple enemies, I won't even need to use delay anymore." But while the two were celebrating, a scream echoed from the distance, and they both turned their heads. Huawei said, "Is that someone fighting a boss? It seems like other people are bothering the Dark Mage." This whole situation felt like a classic Isekai school manga plot twist. "Wait a moment, I'll go check it out." Over there, 3 people were surrounded by a horde of skeleton knights. "My lady used the teleportation scroll now." Than Tun was terrified. "But we haven't even killed a single mob yet," the man in armor yelled. "Don't worry about that. The young lady's safety is the most important thing." Before he could finish, a skeleton knight began to charge. It aimed its sword point to strike. "It's over. We're done for this time." But just as the monster got a little closer, Giang Ly arrived in the nick of time. He stepped forward, raised his hand, and used the light armor technique to create a shield. The knight was unable to break through his defense. When Mo Than Tun saw Giang Ly, she was startled and recognized him. "Giang Ly," a guard spoke up. "Giang Ly from Golden City Academy. I remember he's in the same year as the young lady. He's a student at our Mao Transmigration Magic School, but didn't he just awaken a few days ago? His Ban Academy magic ranking must be at the very bottom." He then turned and yelled at Giang Ly, "Hey kid, these monsters are not something a novice class like you can handle. We can't guarantee your safety." Giang Ly smiled. "Thanks for the kind thought, but you don't need to worry about me." He then launched a fireball at the skeleton knights. The fireball flew towards them, and the monsters were one-shotted in an instant, a classic move for an overpowered student Webtoon protagonist. Experience notifications rang out continue. Experience plus 40. Experience plus 40. Experience plus 40. After wiping out the monsters, Giang Ly snapped his fingers with a flourish. And that's that. Notification. Level up. Current. Level 17. Seeing Giang Ly one-shot the monsters, a feat worthy of a top-tier Magic Academy Manhwa. Than Tun, he finished them in a single blow. She was also stunned. "He's so powerful." The guard with Than Tun stammered, Well, we could have done that too." "Stop meddling in other people's business," Ingqing, who already had a crush on Giang Ly, approached him to strike up a conversation. "It really is you I knew. My judgment was sound." Giang Ly turned and asked, "Do you know me?" Then recognition dawned on him. "Ah, I remember now, you're Mo Qingqing, the young genius whose skills rival even Li Muyuan's in the Academy Magic ranking. Are you here to grind levels too? This dungeon is pretty tough, so you should be careful." Hearing Giang Li's words, one of the guards got angry. Don't get cocky, kid. We were the ones who wore down those monsters just now. We crippled them, and you just swooped in for the easy kill. We're black iron rank elites, we don't need a novice worrying about us. Giang Ly couldn't be bothered to argue with them. If there's nothing else, I'll be on my way. He thought to himself that people who struggle this much with trash mobs probably don't have what it takes to contest the boss with him. But just as he was about to leave, Ching Ching called out to him. Wait! Giang Ly, you probably haven't reached the black iron rank yet, have you? Giang Ly turned back and answered, That's right, but I'm already level 17. It probably won't take much longer. Hearing this, she was stunned, her heart racing as she thought, It's only been a few days, and he's already level 17. With this kind of strength, he's like an overpowered student. Webtoon protagonist. How did he do it? She then took a deep breath. I have a request. Could you carry me through this dungeon? As payment, I'll give you this black iron rank-up jewel. I think you might need it. She presented a jewel in her hand. Giang Ly couldn't help but stare, his eyes fixated on one spot as his face grew a little warm. That necklace. Is it a storage item? It must be incredibly valuable. Seeing Giang Ly staring intently without blinking made her feel even more bashful. She turned away shyly, covering her chest. Could you please not stare like that? To advance to the black iron rank, you either have to pass the official trial or use a rank-up jewel directly. In this transmigration magic school world, these rank-up jewels are extremely rare and cost a fortune. Giang Ly hadn't initially planned on using one, but given his current leveling speed, he could hit level 20 before even clearing the dungeon. If he doesn't rank up to black iron, he won't be able to level up any further. All the excess experience would go to waste. So Giang Ly immediately agreed. All right, but first you have to make them leave. I don't want a bunch of people tagging along to leech experience. The male guard got furious. What did you just say? Don't get ahead of yourself. The female guard also chimed in, Young miss, we can't let you go with this guy. But in reality, she was just worried that if word got out, they'd lose their jobs as bodyguards. Ching Ching turned and retorted, Going with you guys is just too boring. Now get out. That's an order. The male guard still refused to back down, stepping towards Giang Ly. If the young miss is this insistent, then at the very least you have to let us test this guy's strength first. He then raised his sword towards Giang Ly and lunged. Let's see what a student from our Magic Academy Manhwa is really made of. Giang Ly just smirked. If you insist on a demonstration, then I won't hold back. Giang Ly summoned a fireball in his hand. My fireball is a little on the large side, so try to bear with me. The armored guard froze in place. This is something straight out of an Isekai school manga. How can a novice mage create a fireball like this? The orb of fire just kept growing, threatening to engulf the entire area. Tears streamed down his face as he thought, I'm toast. I'm so toast. I'm absolutely done for. But just as the fireball was about to hit him, Giang Ly dissipated it right before his eyes. Let's just forget it and stop here. If you all still want to tag along, I won't stop you. The guards, quick on the uptake, immediately changed their tune. Haha, our friend. Zhang here has some decent skills. A bit weaker than us, of course, but clearing a dungeon like this should be no problem for him at all. Thinking about Giang Ly, they thought to themselves that it was a good thing he didn't attack. Otherwise, their worthless lives wouldn't have been spared. The two immediately bowed to say goodbye to the young miss. Well, then we'll take our leave. Please take care. And with that, Giang Ly turned back to find Hua Vi. Hua Vi ran up and hugged his arm. Giang Ly, I've been waiting for you for so long. Can you take me with you next time? I was so scared. Giang Ly sighed. I'm exhausted. Seeing Hua Vi being so intimate, Than Ten felt a hard-to-describe sadness in her heart. What was their relationship? She had never heard that Giang Ly had a girlfriend. Then she turned and tried to start a conversation, but she didn't know how to address her. I'm Mac Than Than, his classmate. Hua Vi scratched her head and replied, Oh, just call me. Hua Vi, Than Tun thought to herself, it seems they're quite close. But she was determined to squeeze in between the two of them. Oh, right, Giang Ly, I have something to ask. I heard that for a student in our transmigration magic school, your awakening didn't go very smoothly. Is that true? Giang Ly replied, Yeah, I'm just a common mage. But you don't necessarily need a special class to climb the academy magic ranking, to become stronger. Then he turned and smiled, I have my own ways. A moment later, Giang Ly used his light body technique to move at high speed, dodging explosions while fighting mobs. Experience continuously added, plus 40. A notification announced a skill had increased by 1 level. Current level 18. Meanwhile, the two girls were hiding behind a bush chatting. Was he always like this before? Yeah, I was scared to death at first too, Thentun thought. It seems the skills this overpowered student Webtoon protagonist is using are all basic level. But why are they so powerful? After a battle with the small mobs, a level 27 boss, the Skeleton Knight Commander, finally appeared. Giang Ly looked at it as if he were seeing a pile of experience points right in front of him. Oh, so this dungeon still has another boss. Then the young man condensed a mud ball spell. The ground beneath the boss's feet suddenly sank as if it were in a swamp. It doesn't matter how many of you there are, as long as I use crowd control skills on you skeletons. You won't be able to threaten me. But unexpectedly, the boss raised its head, creating a black smoke that formed into the shape of a horse and charged straight at Giang Ly. Giang Ly noticed its eyes had changed, and then he was hit head-on, sent flying straight into the bushes ahead. The two girls jumped in shock and shouted, Giang Ly! The control effect ended, and the mobs once again stood up and started walking. We're done for this time. Then Huavi told Thantun, You go save Giang Ly, I'll draw their attention. Seeing Huavi's decisive action, Thantun thought, she's clearly so scared, and yet, in a dangerous world like an Isekai school manga, she's still so brave. But suddenly, a voice came from Giang Ly's direction. That's not necessary. It was followed by an ice arrow that shot out and hit the boss in the head, seeing him stand up. Thantun walked over and asked, Giang Ly, are you okay? Giang Ly thought to himself, Good thing my light body. Technique hadn't ended yet, or I would have been more than just a little injured. I didn't expect that thing to have a long-range attack. Huavi ran over and used heal. Let me treat you. Seeing the knights charging once again, wanting to attack the three of them, Thantun used Radiant Holy Light Blessing. Bless allies create shadows to envelop enemies' damage. Multiplied. A layer of holy light appeared in the sky and plunged directly down onto the skeleton knights. Taking this opportunity, Giang Ly said, Use an area of effect magic attack, got it. Hearing this, he also took out his lightning skill, aiming a lightning ball straight at the boss and the mobs, paralyzing them. This time, even Giang Ly couldn't believe how high the damage was. Huavi covered her mouth in shock. This is the holy light blessing. She quickly explained to Giang Ly that this blessing could make nearby allies' attacks infused with holy attribute damage, and it also makes the enemy vulnerable and blind. At this point, the damage dealt by allies would be amplified several times over. But to be able to use a skill like this proves Miss Mo's class specializes in damage amplification, vulnerability, and blindness. Holy cow, that's insane. Thantun's class is a special one, a divine priest. After Giang Ly's attack, the boss finally broke free from the paralysis. Its body still trembling, it slowly got back up. This time, he took the initiative and told the two girls, Thantun, use that blessing again, and Huavi, support me from the back so I can increase my magic damage for you. Be careful, it's charging at us. The boss lunged forward with incredible speed, almost flying, towards Giang Ly, ready to swing its club down. But at that very moment, Thantun activated her skill. You're not getting any closer. A pillar of holy light descended from the sky, making the boss feel an oppressive pressure. Then it opened its eyes, but could no longer see a trace of the group anywhere. Don't bother looking. A familiar voice. Giang Ly's voice rang out from behind it. I'm over here. He then used his skill, concentrating energy into his leg and unleashed a kick that blasted a huge hole straight through the skeleton's body. It was a scene straight out of an Isekai school manga. Giang Ly landed confidently and said, "It's done." A notification popped up. "Level up, you have gained 2 levels. Current level 20. Congratulations, you have received a C-rank skill book. Bone spear art." Description: fires a bone spear. Whichever body part it hits will be weakened, becoming a weak point. If it already is a weak point, the weakness will be amplified. Giang Ly mused, "A C-rank skill, huh? Too bad my skill bar is full. I'll have to think about what to replace." Huavi also leveled up to 22, while Than Tin is now level 29. Giang Ly muttered, "These skills can only be learned by black iron rank mages. It's like he's from a transmigration magic school or something. For now I can only think about it." While the young man was lost in thought, Than Tin walked over and asked, "What is it, Giang Ly?" Then she took out a gem and handed it to him. "Here, take this and use it. Consider it an advance payment. If you get stronger, it'll be more beneficial for clearing the dungeon. Besides, you don't want to waste the experience you'll get later, right?" She blushed shyly and added, "Also, from now on, you can just call me Than." Than. Giang Ly didn't overthink it and directly took her hand. "All right, I'll consider myself in your debt this time. In the future, I will definitely repay you tenfold." Seeing him hold her hand, her heart fluttered and her whole body felt warm. Meanwhile, outside the dungeon, "What, you let the young miss go into the dungeon alone?" At the entrance to the Stormy Plains dungeon, an angry voice roared, "Are you all brain dead?" One of the men bowed his head and reported, "That Giang Ly, although he's a novice, he seems incredibly strong, like the protagonist of an overpowered student webtoon who could top any Academy Magic ranking. There probably won't be any issues." "A novice? What nonsense are you spouting?" "Uncle Fuck, sir. Look quickly. Something seems to be wrong." The old man finally looked up, his eyes widening in fear as a series of notifications popped up. "An unforeseen incident has occurred in the Black Iron Rank secret dungeon, the Dark Shrine. The difficulty has been elevated to Abyss Rank warning. Forced exit from the dungeon is now impossible." Uncle Fuck, now worried, commanded, "The young miss is in danger. Quickly assemble all elites level 25 and below from the family. Follow me to rescue the young miss." The chubby guy following him immediately rushed to carry out the order. "Gold, obey." "Yes, sir." The scene shifts inside the dungeon, where the group senses a massive tremor but has no idea what has just happened. Giang Ly is using a focusing gem for his breakthrough when suddenly a giant foot steps forward. "You must be the intruder. To think you could eliminate my subordinates is commendable, but what a pity you will all die here." A screen displays level 30, boss Dark Mage Garu, a foe far beyond any Academy Magic ranking. Seeing this, Than Than's face turns grim. The dungeon boss actually came looking for them. She turns to Giang Ly, who is still in the middle of his breakthrough. If he is forcibly interrupted, his body might just explode, killing him. "We have to buy time." Just then, Uncle Fuck appears. He shouts, "Young miss, we're here." Hearing the familiar voice, she smiles happily. "Uncle Fuck." Then a group of people begins to surround the boss. "You have reinforcements. You're all just a bunch of pests." He starts channeling a skill. Rock Spike. Art spikes erupt from the ground over a wide area, catching the unprepared off guard. They are continuously and heavily wounded. One man laughs confidently, "Your level is high, but that's all you've got." But suddenly, the shadow of a colossal boss descends from the sky, flying right past him. What? With its immense weight, it shakes the very ground, creating a deep crater. A notification appears, level unknown, demon, Lord Boss Ha Vai. The boss growls, "Who dares to summon me?" The group begins to panic in terror. An abyss demon." The dark mage Garu speaks to the demon lord. "My lord, it was this humble one who summoned you. These people are all offerings I present to you. Just these few, they're not even enough to get stuck in my teeth." The men look on at the demon, their bodies trembling with the fear it radiates. "We're done for. We're so dead in this moment of despair." Giang Ly reappears, asking bluntly, "Who wants to be an offering, huh?" By now, Giang Ly has successfully advanced. He leveled up to the Black Iron rank, gaining skill cast +1, allowing him to cast 2 skills. This isn't your typical Magic Academy manhwa plot. Giang Ly firmly tells everyone, don't lose hope, don't let fear stop us from fighting back. He then begins to channel his attack, his Bone Spear art skill. He then smirks. It's not yet decided who's the prey and who's the predator. Uncle Fuck sees Giang Ly's confidence and thinks, on Bone Spear art against an abyss demon. He's just a Black Iron mage, what can he possibly do? Just like that, the attacks from Giang Ly's Bone Spear art shoot towards the demon. It reflexively raises a hand to block the skill, but the attack actually manages to wound it. The demon roars, "You're courting death!" Uncle Fuck is stunned. That Bone Spear art actually hurt it. What's this kid's story? He's like an overpowered student Webtoon protagonist. But he fears it's not enough. It seems this old man must risk his life today. Uncle Fuck steps to the front line, commanding, "Everyone charge. I swear, even if we die, we will protect the young miss." The mages all cast Fireball, bombarding the boss from every angle like a scene from an Isekai school manga battle. Then Uncle Fuck turns to Giang Ly. "Young man, get our young miss to safety. We're counting on you." With his aura flaring, he charges the boss. The demon lord arrogantly scoffs, "A bunch of ants." Then, it charges a skill in its mouth, aiming at the group. A single blast shoots straight for Uncle Fuck, who quickly activates his defensive stance. He raises his sword to block the incoming attack. This is a real-life test, not some transmigration magic school simulation. Luckily, the skill. He managed to nullify the attack, but his body was already showing signs of fatigue. Uncle Fuck could only gamble everything now. "You damn demon!" He then charged swiftly towards the boss. This was his strongest technique. If it couldn't destroy the demon, it would at least buy the young miss some time. He leaped high into the air, unleashing the Sword of Judgment. But as he descended, the boss effortlessly caught the blade between 2 of its fingers, then grabbed his body with its other hand. "Is this all the strength you have?" It then slammed Uncle Fuck violently into the ground, Ching Ching watching from a distance. Had tears streaming down her face as she cried out in worry, Uncle Fuck, but Giang Ly held her back. The demon stepped towards him, raising its foot to stomp down, growling, "You truly don't know your own limits." Even in such a desperate moment, the old man, and still tried to use his strength to utter words of protection for his young miss. Young miss, run. Suddenly an ice arrow from Giang Ly flew in and pierced straight through the demon's wing, leaving it completely stunned. He also seized the great opportunity that Giang Ly provided, slashing his sword across its leg and sending it tumbling backward. Uncle Fuck used the chance to escape. The demon commander was filled with rage from the sneak attack. Who was that? Giang Ly drew another arrow, aimed it at the demon, and advised, "Uncle Fuck, leave the big guy to me. You all should heal up quickly." Uncle Fuck, with an injury on his face, spoke worriedly to Giang. "A lie, young man. Didn't I tell you to get our young miss out of here? Why are you still here? Let us handle this." Giang Ly refused. "No need. I've already found a way to injure it." Hearing this, the old man thought, he's clearly just a Black Iron rank, yet he can use 2 types of magic at once. This kind of power completely ignores the standard Academy magic ranking system to create a completely new effect. The demon commander slowly got to its feet, roaring, "I will not forgive you." It lunged at Giang Ly, bringing its claws down, but like the hero of an overpowered student webtoon, he had already anticipated the move and dodged. He then leaped high, firing an ice arrow down at the nape of its neck. He said, "The wings are the weakness of you demons." Am I wrong? Losing your wings is equivalent to losing your magic power. You can no longer use magic now. The demon was shocked. How are his movements so fast? It then retorted to Giang Ly. How did you know that?" Giang Ly explained, "The demons of the abyss are humanity's greatest enemy. It's a common plot in every Isekai school manga, that we must learn to fight you. My Magic Academy manhwa taught me plenty of methods. Now surrender." Giang Ly thought to himself. The location of a demon's heart is random. It's a gamble even for someone from a transmigration magic school. Now that I've sealed its magic, I can only— He's on luck. The dark mage Garu spoke to Giang Ly. Don't get too arrogant. A small wound like this is nothing to us. Besides, his lordship's regenerative abilities are incredibly strong. He'll be back to normal in no time. The demon heard this and turned its head towards the dark mage. I can't wait any longer. It then grabbed the mage in its hand. As if sensing his imminent death, he immediately cried out, "My lord, spare me," but the next scene left everyone in utter disbelief. It opened its massive maw and swallowed the dark mage whole. As soon as it finished swallowing, its body seemed to surge with vitality. It began to transform, and the lost wings slowly grew back. "Human, you have angered." To me, it roared. A notification appeared: Demon Commander Phase 2 extremely dangerous. It then breathed out a beam of dark light. The dark energy shot straight for Giang Ly, but with his incredible speed, he easily dodged it, thinking about his light body technique. My max level technique can keep me from getting wiped out, but I have no way to counterattack, and my light armor art won't hold up against it. But just as he was thinking, Giang Ly suddenly got a notification. Received the effect of a blessing. Magic attack power increased by 100%. Received the effect of a blessing. Magic attack power increased by 200%. It turned out, at this moment, everyone had united, funneling all their buffs to Giang Ly because he had received the effect of the blessing. His life and mana were slowly recovering. Seeing the aura surrounding Giang Ly, the boss immediately turned its head to look at the group supporting him. Then, it turned back as a skill formed in its palm and a cluster of obstacles appeared. Seeing this, Giang Ly grew anxious. This is bad. He decided to turn back to protect the group as the boss launched its orb. Giang Ly activated a 300% speed boost, flashing back to protect the group. The notification panel popped up. Defense increased by 200%. Corresponding shield skill increased by 200%. Giang Ly didn't hesitate to cast his light armor art just before the orb hit. Just like that, a massive explosion erupted, shaking the entire region, but the boss's eyes sensed something was off. Its body was sinking into the surrounding mire. It struggled to pull its feet free, but from within the shield, a voice called out, "Don't move." The boss received a notification. Paralysis movement restricted. This is— What kind of bizarre technique is this? Giang Ly answered. Next, you'll get a taste of something even stronger. Then he unleashed layers of lightning. Down into the mud pit trapping its feet, he combined the Electro Void art with the Mud Swamp art to create the Swamp Lightning combo. This time its entire body was paralyzed and it couldn't move, looking like the hero of an overpowered student webtoon. Giang Ly charged towards it as everyone behind him acted in unison. Anyone with buff items use them. Cast your buff magic. We all have to help him. Right now he's the only one who can or save us. He's our only hope in this transmigration magic school. Quickly, a series of notifications appeared. Due to the effect of the blessing, magic increased by 600%, then 700%, then 1000%. This power level was off the charts for any Pyats Academy magic ranking. The boss began to condense an orb in its mouth. "You dare to charge at me, how foolish." It immediately fired the blast at Giang Ly, but he launched his own skill in return. The two skills clashed in a scene straight out of an Isekai school manga. Giang Ly's was stronger, splitting the boss's attack clean in half. His attack continued flying towards the boss, which raised a hand to block it, but surprisingly Giang Ly's skill suddenly split apart. It shattered into countless smaller fragments, striking from all directions. As it blocked with its hands, Giang Ly taunted it. "You seem awfully concerned with protecting your head. Is there something important up there?" The boss retorted angrily. "So what if there is?" But just then the bone fragments from Giang Ly's attack began to crackle, creating sparks before exploding right in its face. Giang Ly's skills had combined. It was the explosive bone spear, a fusion of the bone spear art and the fireball art. Seeing his chance, he immediately threw in his ice skill for good measure. Now's the time. Arrows made of ice shot straight into the cloud of dust and smoke. Its agonizing screams echoed out continuously while the others watched on anxiously. "Is it over?" But as the smoke cleared, its sharp eyes reappeared. Ah, what a shame, what a shame. It stepped forward, along with a few ice shards piercing your palm. Was that your only chance to defeat me? You still haven't recovered. What did you do to me? Giang Ly let out a cunning laugh. Ha ha ha! It's just a simple delay spell. The boss roared in fury. You despicable wretch! You think a petty trick like this can stop me? Giang Ly sneered back. Oh, you don't really think that I was only going to shoot a few arrows, do you? You? Just then a storm of arrows materialized behind it, piercing straight through its body. How is this possible? And just like that, its body disintegrated with no way to regenerate. Giang Ly waved his hand in a celebratory gesture. Problem solved. A notification popped up. Level increased by 5. A jump like that is straight out of an Overpowered student webtoon, current level 25. Everyone immediately started to celebrate. They cheered. That's amazing. It's finally over. The others in the party also gained 2 levels each. At that moment, old Fu thought to himself, this kid is already this powerful. In the future, he's bound to become a top-tier powerhouse who would dominate any academy magic ranking. Meanwhile, a thought crossed Giang Ly's mind. Logically speaking, not every mage who reaches the Black Iron rank can simultaneously cast 2 different types of magic. Could it be that because all my skills are maxed out, I've awakened a special ability? It's like I've been given a cheat from a transmigration magic school system. The 2 bodyguards who had been protecting the young lady started posturing in front of Giang Ly with that many buffs. He's like a protagonist from an Isekai school manga. If I were uninjured, I'm not so sure I couldn't have taken on that demon myself. As soon as one finished, the other chimed in. That's right. Exactly. Ching stepped forward with a radiant smile. Don't listen to that nonsense from those guards. She continued to express her admiration. We were so lucky to have you this time, Giang Ly. The young man looked directly at Shu Wei and Ching and asked, by the way, after this dungeon run is over. What are your plans? Shu Wei answered decisively. I feel like my skills are still lacking, and I'm afraid I'll just drag Giang Ly down. I want to train in some lower-level zones first. Once I'm stronger, we can tackle dungeons together, okay? Ching shyly said to Giang Ly, I'd still like to team up with you next time. While Giang Ly's face was a giant. Old Fu stepped in to clarify. What the young lady means is she would like to invite you to visit her home. Giang Ly scratched his head shyly. Well, if you put it that way, then I'll definitely visit. By now, everyone had gathered around to look at the items dropped from the dungeon. Old Fu gestured enthusiastically. Let's check out the loot. That demon was almost defeated by you single-handedly, so all this loot should belong to you. Giang Ly's eyes were quickly drawn to a dark staff, quality silver, requires level 25 or higher, and a demon cloak, quality gold. It came with the skill Demon's Eye, which can reveal any stealthed units below the silver class. Requires level 25 or higher. Giang Ly held it, clicking his tongue in admiration. You'd be hard-pressed to find gear like this in all of Jincheng. With this equipment, I won't have to worry about sneak attacks anymore. Next up was the Abyss Pass First Floor, quality special. Its attribute was use grants entry to the first floor of the Abyss. Requires silver rank strength or higher. Then there was the Stone of the quality gold. Attribute can be socketed into equipment imbuing it with the power of the Abyss. Has a high probability of upgrading. Equipment of silver quality or lower to gold quality. From a distance, Old Fu looked astonished. A gemstone. This is an incredible find. Normal gemstones can already turn trash into treasure, but this one can directly upgrade gear to gold rank. It's truly a top-tier item, the kind of loot you'd only see in a popular magic academy. Manhwa. The only catch is finding a master blacksmith on Blue Star who can actually work with it. Besides combat-focused classes, there are also many specialized professions for different aspects of life, for instance, like cooks, pharmacists, and blacksmiths. Although they can't fight monsters directly, they are indispensable support personnel for humanity. Uncle Fuck told Giang Ly, I heard Manager Lam of the Golden Dragon Pavilion knows the best blacksmith in all of Golden City. You could go try your luck, Giang Ly replied. Thank you for the information, Senior. I was planning on visiting the Golden Dragon Pavilion anyway. After that, Giang Ly packed everything up to leave. Well, then we'll see each other again later. The scene shifts to Rosetown at the Golden Dragon Pavilion. Giang Ly looked around the room. Is this the VIP lounge of the Golden Dragon Pavilion? I wonder how much all these decorations cost. Soon a man approached, introducing himself from a distance. A distinguished guest has arrived. I apologize. Giang Ly sat calmly on the couch and slowly replied, "You're too kind, Manager Lam. I came here this time to sell some equipment." After a quick inventory, Manager Lam finalized the count. A total of 6 bronze-grade items under level 23, black iron-grade items, and those other. The total value for you comes to 25 million. As for the Shadow Stealth skill book and this silver-grade Swiftwind bow, to be honest, I can't give you a price estimate for these right now. It would be best to trade them for other items. The receptionist saw the pile of equipment and was too stunned to speak. This is the first time I've ever seen such a massive transaction, Giang Ly said. Thank you, Manager Lam. In that case, please list the items I can trade for. If there are any skill books or equipment suitable for a mage, let's use them to trade for these 2 items. Oh, right. I also need 1 bronze ascension jewel. Just deduct the cost from the total. Certainly, sir. Please wait a moment. He then waved his hand at the receptionist, signaling her to handle the procedures. Afterwards, he and Giang Ly sat down to talk. Manager Lam said to Giang Ly, "I don't believe I've caught your name yet." Giang Ly replied, "You can just call me Giang Ly." The manager took a sip of tea and laughed. "So, that's who you are. To reach this level just 2 days after awakening. That's a feat unheard of in Golden City. It's like a plot from an overpowered student." Giang Ly was a bit surprised that he knew. "How did you find out?" Manager Lam replied, "The Golden Dragon Pavilion's internal intelligence network is quite thorough. With enough money, you can obtain any information you want." Giang Ly made a serious request. "Since that's the case, Manager Lam, could you find a blacksmith for me? I have a gem here that needs to be socketed." Manager Lam replied, "Oh, I happen to know a master craftsman." Just then, the receptionist approached and handed Giang Ly a book. "Excuse me, sir. This is our item exchange list. Please take a look, because the value of your sale meets our membership criteria. The Golden Dragon Pavilion would like to gift you a Golden Dragon card. From now on, all your purchases here will receive a 10% discount. Also, this is the Bronze Ascension jewel you wanted." "With the discount included." Before she could finish her sentence, Manager Lam slammed his hand on the table. "This jewel, I'll sell it to you for 16 million. Let's consider it a gesture of friendship." Hearing this, Giang Ly broke into a cold sweat as he took the item, thinking to himself, "The market price for a Bronze Ascension jewel is 20 million, if I remember correctly. For my old self, that was an unattainable treasure. Even with the Golden Dragon card's discount, it would still cost 18 million. Manager Lam's one sentence just saved me another 2 million. It seems I should build a good relationship with him." Immediately after, Giang Ly's smile widened and he spoke with double the enthusiasm. "Ha ha! In that case, thank you, Brother Lam. From now on, if this little brother needs anything done, you'll absolutely be the first person I think of." Lam laughed heartily. "Ha ha ha. That couldn't be better. By the way, the gold rank master blacksmith of Golden City, Master Wang Yun, happens to be in the area right now. You can go to the Wenxiang Garden in the east to find him. Just say I sent you." Giang Ly stood up and shook his hand. "Thank you, Brother Lam. Just charge the intelligence fee according to your usual rates." The next day, Giang Ly stood outside the gate of Wenxiang Garden. The guards at the gate shouted, "The master has given an order that no one is allowed to enter." Giang Ly presented the stone and said, "I have a piece of equipment and would like to ask Master Wang Yun to help me inlay a gem. Manager Lam of the Golden Dragon Treasure Pavilion sent me. Please inform him." The people inside heard Giang Ly's words and immediately relayed the message. Giang Ly was allowed inside. Master Wang Yun asked, "So you're Giang Ly?" "Ha ha ha ha. I didn't expect that old fox Lam Daifu to recommend someone to me." Giang Ly adopted a serious attitude. "I've heard Master Wang is the best blacksmith in Golden City. Seeing you today, your reputation is truly well-deserved." Wang Yun scratched his head. All right. Cut the nonsense. What kind of gem do you want to inlay? He then took the stone Giang Ly handed him. Oh, a black gold rank gem, kid. Even gold rank blacksmiths rarely get to touch gold rank equipment and items. You've got some skills, not like some rookie fresh out of a transmigration magic school, but the probability of a direct inlay failing is very high. You have to be prepared to. Then he continued. How about we make a deal? I have a masterpiece that's almost complete. But I'm missing one crucial material, the tooth of a thunder crocodile leader. That material will not only help me finish my work, it will also increase the success rate of the gem inlay. Giang Ly looked puzzled. So you want me to find the material? The master shook his head. Not necessarily. The thunder crocodile leader is extremely cunning. It hides deep within the thunderclap swamp. But if it encounters a high-tier professional above the black iron rank, it won't be able to escape. This isn't some beast from an Isekai school manga. It's a real— If you can't find it, I won't force you. Giang Ly's eyes lit up. An increased inlay success rate. Of course I want to try. I'll set out right now. Master, just wait here for my good news. As Giang Ly was on his way, a group of people suddenly blocked his path. Hey kid, have you seen a young man about 25 years old, nearly 6 feet tall, one with triangular eyes and a warrior class? Giang Ly recalled the person he had eliminated earlier. Was he talking about that guy? But Giang Ly denied it. No. He tried to walk past, but the man blocked him again. Wait. The person I just described has been eliminated. The clues clearly point to a mage. You're a mage, aren't you? Don't think you're some protagonist in an overpowered student webtoon who can just ignore us. If you're hiding something, the Blood Wolf Mercenary Guild will show you what cruelty means. Giang Ly looked up at him. I said no, and with that he walked straight past him. This infuriated the man. What an arrogant brat. He must think he's the star of a Magic Academy manhwa. He needs to be taught a lesson. As Giang Ly walked by, he happened to overhear two men talking. That guy just now was Chen Dong, the vice-captain of the Blood Wolf Mercenary Guild. I heard their captain's youngest son was killed by someone. His death was apparently very gruesome. The Blood Wolf Mercenary Guild has always been tyrannical and run rampant. I think sooner or later they're going to get what's coming to them. The man he was talking with got scared and immediately covered his mouth. Shh, do you have a death wish? Their captain. I'm a high-rank bronze professional. You know, there are plenty of bronze-rank professionals in our mercenary group, and if they hear you, you're in for a world of hurt. Giang Ly listened to the whole story and realized he had just stirred up a hornet's nest. In the Thunder Swamp, Giang Ly showed no mercy, unleashing his fireball skill and relentlessly blasting the area to wipe out every last monster. Giang Ly clicked his tongue in approval. As expected of Black Iron tier magic, its area of effect damage was massive. The kill rate was much higher than his lightning arc spell. But suddenly, Giang Ly sensed a rustle in the bushes behind him. Could someone be watching? Giang Ly activated his demon's eye to scan for anyone using stealth. Just as he suspected, there was an assassin. Let's see what you're planning, he thought. While he was thinking, the water in the lake began to churn violently, and a level 29 green-striped Snake King emerged. Giang Ly looked on, disappointed. It wasn't the Thunder Crocodile leader. I guess those are hard to come by. The Snake King didn't hesitate, its jaws snapping towards him. But Giang Ly effortlessly dodged its attack. Seeing this, the hidden assassins began to draw their weapons. Giang Ly decided he was done playing games with these people. He immediately looked towards the assassin's hiding spot. Stop hiding. Come on out. Seeing that they'd been discovered, they revealed themselves. Ha 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 ha. We finally found you, you little brat. Oh, and there's an elite monster too. It's our lucky day. You dared to harm our leader's son. That's unforgivable. Giang Ly turned to the man Tran Dong and asked, Do you have any proof? Tran Dong shot Giang Ly an arrogant look. Who needs proof when you messed with me? I say you did it, so you did it. Giang Ly began to condense ice arrows. As the ice arrows appeared, the snake behind him, which had been waiting for an opportunity, prepared to launch a sneak attack. Giang Ly instantly redirected the arrows, one-shotting the snake. Just like that, the monster vaporized right before their eyes. The men stared in terror, whispering to each other what just happened. He annihilated a level 29 elite monster in an instant. His power would top any Academy magic ranking. Giang Ly then spoke up. "You're right. I was the one who dealt with him. But unfortunately for you, you'll have to take that secret to your graves." Then Giang Ly summoned another fireball in his hand and without hesitation hurled it directly at the group. Trandong, having the highest health, survived the blast. He scrambled away, thinking in agony. "I'm screwed. If this keeps up, I'm a dead man." He quickly dropped to his knees and begged Boss. "Boss, it was our fault. We were blind and didn't recognize your greatness. We'll give you everything we have, boss. It's worth a lot of money. Please just spare our lives. Give us a way out." He said this, but inwardly he was cursing. Damn it. How is this kid so strong? He's like the protagonist of some overpowered student webtoon. He just admitted to harming him. I have to get back and report this to the leader. Giang Ly listened, his killing intent still blazing. "Oh, and where did you get all these things?" Trandong didn't dare to bullshit him. He answered immediately, We took them from a silver rank couple. Their family offered a hefty ransom for their return. But the man kept resisting, so we dealt with him. This bronze tier armor I'm wearing was his. As for the woman, even with a baby, she was still beautiful. It's just a shame she'd rather die than submit, so she followed her husband. Hearing this, Giang Ly's face twisted with a barely suppressed extreme rage. In his heart, he thought, as expected, you all deserve to die. The scene shifts to Manager Lin, who receives a phone call at the Golden Dragon Pavilion. "The pavilion is at your service." Instantly, an image of Giang Ly appeared above. "Manager Lin, it's me." "Oh, it's young Master Jiang is the inlaid. Jade's still working out for you." Giang Ly replied a bit sheepishly. "Yes, it's fine, but I'm calling about something else this time." "Manager Lin, could you help me investigate the Blood Wolf mercenary group? The payment will be handled as usual. The sooner the better." After hearing this, Manager Lin asked, "What did you say, the Blood Wolf mercenary group?" All right. Give me a moment. I'll arrange for my people to investigate for you." As he spoke, he wiped the sweat from his forehead. "Young Master Jiang, whatever conflict you have with that mercenary group, you absolutely must not act rashly." Giang Ly then told him the truth. "Just a moment ago, I was ambushed by them. Fortunately, my skills were good enough, and I handled it like a protagonist from an overpowered student webtoon. The leader's name seemed to be Chen Dong." Lin added, "I know a little about him. He's likely the vice captain of the Blood Wolf mercenary group. I recall he's a bronze rank professional. I can't believe he was defeated by you. But they definitely won't let this slide. What do you plan to do?" "Next," Giang Ly replied. "I heard their strongest member's power isn't even at the peak of bronze rank. If that's the case, I can definitely handle them. I'm just worried it might drag your people into this, so I want to strike first." Manager Lin burst out laughing. "Ha, young Master Jiang, you truly are a man of honor. As for the Blood Wolf mercenary group, besides Chen Dong, they have 6 other bronze rank professionals. The rest of their members are all black iron rank or higher, a fearsome lineup in any academy magic ranking. They rarely operate separately. Chen Dong was here on a special mission to investigate the murder of the youngest son of the captain. That's the only reason you were able to catch him alone. Even for you, young Master Jiang, dealing with so many bronze rank professionals at once would be difficult." "Wouldn't it?" Giang Ly replied. "Yes, that's true," Manager Lin continued. "Among them, the one with the most power is the Captain Li Xiaoxian, a level 39 Ashenstone Knight. His specialty is defense, so you absolutely must not get into a battle of attrition with him. However, the news about Chen Dong hasn't spread yet. They are all likely still on the outskirts of the Blackstone mountain range." "Young Master Jiang, you still have some time," Giang Ly asked curiously. "What are they doing there?" Manager Lin explained. "At first I thought they were there for a boss raid, but after some investigation I found out they were commissioned by the Wang family." Giang Ly was shocked. "The Wang family, as in one of the 4 great families of Jincheng. But you don't need to worry. It's just a standard commission. Right now, the Blood Wolf mercenary group isn't allied with any major power. The eldest son of the Wang family, Wang Jinyan, awakened as a spirit tamer. Because of this, the Wang family has spent a fortune commissioning various mercenary groups to find an Earth Dragon egg. At this point, Manager Lin realized he was getting way off topic. My apologies. Let's get back to the matter at hand. If you're set on confronting the Blood Wolf mercenary group, then want to lend a hand. How about this? Come visit me at the Golden Dragon Pavilion. In the fusion room, Manager Lin walked over and explained to Giang Ly. I'm sure you've mastered plenty of magic, just like in a magic academy manhwa. But every mage has a limited... Naturally, some lower-level spells get replaced. That's why the Golden Dragon Pavilion created this room. Here you can fuse a Mage's spells. This allows you to create a brand new spell. However, the spells created through this fusion, it can't be fused a second time. This must be your first time here, right? You tried to fuse Fireball and Arc Lightning, the most basic spells at that. Giang Ly placed his hand on the magic book on the table, and a line of information appeared. Reading spell. D-rank spell. Fireball confirmed. D-rank spell. Arc Lightning confirmed. Proceeding with fusion. Congratulations, you have acquired a new skill. D-rank spell. Lightning Ball. Giang Ly could hardly believe it. He never thought it was possible to use this method to create a brand new spell. Even though using the two spells in succession before was effective, this new synergy is on another level, and it really saves a ton of skill slots. This is some next-level stuff, not like what you'd see in a typical Magic Academy manhwa. Giang Ly turned and said, "Thank you, Brother Long. For the information in the spell fusion, please take the equipment I brought earlier. If it's not enough, I'll add more. Also, I have one more thing to ask. To be honest, I need a gold-tier inlay gem, but even Grandmaster Wang can't guarantee a successful inlay." The Grandmaster pointed me in a direction, saying that the tooth of the Thunder Crocodile leader increased the success rate. But that boss is incredibly cunning. I've been waiting for half a day and haven't seen a trace of it. Hearing this, Manager Lam chuckled. Ha ha, you're in luck, Giang Ly. I think I have just the thing prepared for you. He then held out his hand, signaling an attendant to bring him something he had prepared earlier. Rumor has it that this bait can lure out the Thunder Crocodile leader. Grandmaster Wang originally asked me to find it, but then he broke through to the gold tier himself. Even with this bait, the boss probably wouldn't show up for him anymore. Since he's passed the task on to you, it's only fitting that this belongs to you now. Giang Ly didn't hesitate and took the bait from Manager Lam's hand. This was a true lifesaver. As for the cost of this bait, Giang Ly began, but Manager Lam cut him off. The equipment you brought earlier more than covers the cost. In fact, there's a hefty surplus. So Giang Ly, I wish you success. Afterwards, Giang Ly returned back to the thunder swamps and immediately tossed the bait into the lake. He waited for a moment, and soon bubbles from below began to surface. Just then, a massive bolt of lightning crashed down from the sky, heralding the boss's arrival. A smile crept onto Giang Ly's face. Finally, you've shown yourself. A notification popped up, level 33, Boss Thunder Crocodile Leader. It then opened its massive maw, as if preparing to charge and attack Giang Ly. He immediately got into a ready stance, activating his light body skill. He moved with the agility of an overpowered student Webtoon. He instantly leaped into the air to dodge the attack. At the Black Iron tier, blocking a move like that head-on would be nearly impossible. Giang Ly looked down below. You're pretty good at picking your fights, but it's your unlucky day because you ran into me. Giang Ly condensed his spiky ice magic. The boss also opened its jaws, preparing to unleash a skill of its own. Then, a bolt of lightning crashed down from the sky, aimed right at Giang Ly. Good thing I activated light armor just in time. That was dangerous. But this is as far as you go. Then Giang Ly sent the ice arrows that had materialized in mid-air flying, straight towards the boss. He looked at the damage from his attack and saw it was just a minor scratch. Damn, this thing's hide is tough. Is it really that tough? If an external attack won't work, I'll just have to attack from the inside. This kind of strategic thinking is what separates the top of the Academy Magic ranking from the rest. For the moment, it opened its mouth to unleash another skill. A fireball materialized in Giang Ly's hand. He didn't hesitate to hurl the fireball straight into the boss's mouth. Here's a big present for you. Giang Ly then activated his delay spell, causing causing its body to seize up, unable to move. Giang Ly slowly approached. Lightning enhances the destructive power of fire. You didn't know that, but lucky for me you opened your mouth on your own, saving me a lot of trouble later. Giang Ly then conjured a sharp icicle behind his spear, splitting the creature in two with a single strike as a notification popped up. Log level increased by 2. Current level 27. So Ice Arrow and Bone Softening Technique actually fused into Ice Spear Technique. It not only has the weakening effect of Bone Softening, but also the increased damage of Ice Arrow. More importantly, it's now a single skill, before I had to cast both skills at the same time. Looks like I can try to fuse even more skills now, a technique you'd never see in any transmigration magic school story. Oh, right. How am I supposed to process this material? Do I just break its teeth out directly? The scene shifts to Giang Ly back at the forge waiting outside. So much time passed that Giang Ly fell into a deep sleep. Finally, the door creaked open. Kid, it's done. Hearing this, Giang Ly woke up and walked over to the master craftsman. How did it go? The master replied confidently. Do you even need to ask? The infusion was absolutely perfect. Although your material collection method was a bit rough, what you brought back was still usable. At this moment, the staff's stats appeared: Abyss Scepter Gold Quality, Magic Power plus 50, Attached Skill, Demonic Seal. Conjures a demonic seal to mark a target. The next spell will trigger the seal, causing 4 times the damage. Mana cost 100, cast time 0 point. Hit 5 seconds. Cooldown 60 seconds. Requirement level 25 or higher. Class Mage. Giang Ly scratched his head in embarrassment. It was my first time collecting materials. But looking closely, the scepter's magic power had increased significantly, and it even came with an incredibly powerful skill. With this, everything was ready. But suddenly, a call came in from Manager Lin. As soon as Giang Ly answered, the manager said, Brother Jiang, I have something extremely important to tell you. We just received intel from our provider that the Blood Frenzy Mercenary Guild is preparing to attack the Earth Dragon's lair tomorrow. I've sent you the detailed information. Giang Ly was surprised. Oh, the Earth Dragon's lair. Thanks, Brother Lin. He thought to himself, the main event is starting just like in an Overpowered student Webtoon. Time to get to work. Blood Frenzy Mercenary Guild, huh? Outside the Blackstone mountain range at the Blood Frenzy's camp, Boss Old Third is dead. This red-haired man is the leader of the Blood Frenzy Mercenary Guild, Li Xiaotian. Zhang Ze continued his report. The last message he sent me was that he had found the culprit who killed Xiaoqiang. But after that, all contact was lost. The opponent seems to be a young mage. Li Xiaotian said, his face contorting with anger. A young mage. Does he think this is some Isekai school manga where he can just look down on us? But for now, the prince's business is more important. The prince's matter can help me level up to the silver rank. Getting revenge can wait until then. Call the brothers. Gather all our forces immediately. Prepare to move out. Hearing the summons, all the members gathered in front of the guild leader's tent. At that moment, Giang Ly's figure could be seen peeking from behind a tree, eavesdropping. He thought, so that's Li Xiaotian. I wonder where he'd place on an academy magic. Li Xiaotian began his speech, Brothers. After all our hard work these past days and months, we have finally found it. We've found the Earth Dragon's lair. Today is the best opportunity we've had in days to attack its nest. Recently, some of our brothers were killed by the enemy. But rest assured, my brothers, when I ascend to the silver rank profession, I will personally hunt down that enemy, skin him, and rip out his tendons, and not just him, but his relatives too. One by one, they will die a horrible death right before his eyes. I will make them taste the most agonizing punishment in this world, to show them why we, the Blood Frenzy mercenaries, are called Blood Frenzy. Li Xiaotian absolutely will not let my brothers suffer even the slightest. Then he raised his fist, and the men below were somewhat comforted. Their resolve hardened, and they cheered in unison. Long live the captain! Long live the captain! Giang Ly, listening from behind, thought to himself. First, I'll just observe the situation. When they enter the Earth Dragon's lair, I'll give them a surprise. The scene changes to the Earth Dragon's area. The group has arrived and a giant Earth Dragon appears. Ha ha, this thing's appearance is truly intimidating. Li Qiaotian raised his sword high, pointing it at the earth dragon. Brothers, charge for me! The men rushed forward. The earth dragon immediately roared as if giving a warning, and at the same time it used its tail like a weapon, swatting away the charging men. The mages in the back also used their fireballs to attack it, while the assassins tried to circle around to the back, continuously slashing at its hard shell with their dual blades. One of them saw his blades, getting chipped in many places, and was shocked. This beast is way too tough. He felt himself being hit by the earth dragon, and as he tried to stab it, it immediately flung the assassin away. The earth dragon grew angrier and began to roar. Activating its skill, the earth and rocks in the cave began to shake violently. One unlucky guy was hit by a falling boulder and cried out in agony. At this moment, Li Qiaotian ran forward to defend, using the skill Grey Rock Ape Shield to create a defensive barrier. He then called out, "Brothers, get behind me. I'm going in. Pay attention to my command." Then it immediately charged forward, activating the skill Giant's Charge. The men behind him saw this and rejoiced. The earthquake has stopped. To think he alone can take down such a colossal monster. The captain's strength could top any Academy Magic ranking. He's a total Superman. But Li Qiaotian had no time for chatter. He cursed at his underlings. Why are you all just standing there frozen? Hurry up and aim for its eyes. The men looked towards the dragon's eyes and immediately prepared to launch their ranged skills. The archers and mages all aimed at a single point and fired, but suddenly the attack stopped. The earth dragon tried to regain the initiative, swinging its clawed hand towards Li Qiaotian. At this moment, Li Qiaotian could only try his best to block it. He roared in anger. "Brothers, what are you doing? Don't stop attacking!" But then he unexpectedly heard the screams of his underlings. Ah, who launched that fire rain spell? That's advanced magic, like something from a top magic academy. Everyone inside was being incinerated by Giang Ly's flames. He walked forward, a scene straight out of an Overpowered student webtoon, and addressed the Blood Frenzy mercenary group. Your training is impressive, not what you'd see in some generic Isekai school manga. But it's a pity. Today you will all leave your lives here. No one will leave this place alive. Two men from a distance shouted back, "Who are you?" "Some kid who thinks this is a transmigration magic school game. How dare you ambush our Blood Frenzy mercenary group? You are indeed well trained, but it's a pity. Today you will all leave your lives here. No one can leave here alive, Captain. You handle the earth dragon first. We'll stop this kid," they yelled, charging straight at the young man who was single-handedly disrupting their academy magic ranking. Hearing this, Li Qiaotian struggled with all his might to lift the electric dragon's claw. This caused the beast to stumble and fall backward once more. His rage hit its absolute peak. "Damn it! You're forcing me to get serious, huh? Today I'm going all out." He then stomped his foot hard on the ground and leaped into the air. He then came crashing down on the weakened electric dragon. He smirked. "Heh, and I thought you were tough." But his joy was short-lived. The screams of his underlings suddenly rang out. Quick, surround him. The terrified henchmen's bodies were being pierced by ice arrows. The power unleashed by Giang Ly was unbelievable. How can this magic be cast so fast and with such force? It's like he's at the top of the Academy magic ranking. Just who the hell are you? Giang Ly calmly walked towards the group, continuously forming pillars of ice in his hands. Useless chatter. All you need to remember is, I'm the one who has come to take your lives. He then launched the ice pillars, but luckily Li Qiaotian rushed in and managed to block them with his shield. However, Giang Ly's skill was so potent that the ice arrows still managed to pierce right through the shield Li Qiaotian was holding. As Giang Ly slowly approached, he remarked, as expected of the renowned defense of a Greystone Knight. Li Qiaotian was starting to figure it out. "Not only do you know about me, but you also easily shattered my defense. You're that young mage, aren't you? Finally, I understand how Kung and Trandong met their end at your hands, since you've willingly delivered yourself to my doorstep. Let's settle all our old debts at once," Giang Ly scoffed. "I was planning on it even if you hadn't said anything." Giang Ly prepared his next skill. Instantly, the ground beneath the group turned into a swamp, sinking down and trapping their feet, preventing them from moving. "This is the swamp spell," Giang Ly smiled. "But I'm not done yet. More and more lightning orbs began to appear. Before they were unleashed, Li Qiutin was terrified. How can he cast two different types of magic at the same time? He's like a protagonist from an Isekai school manga. With a man behind him warned Captain, be careful, those orbs will explode. He raised his shield. Nonsense, watch me block them. But he never expected Giang Ly's lightning orbs to strike the swamp below. Li Qiutin grimaced. Dealing with the earth dragon earlier had already consumed too much of his stamina. It was time to use his final trump card. He then activated his absolute defense skill. A circle of earth and rock appeared surrounding him from all sides and beginning to close in, encasing him inside. Li Qiutin thought to himself, he's used so much magic his mana must be nearly depleted. This state not only defends against attacks, it also allows me to recover my stamina. If I can just stall for a little longer, I'll be able to use Giant's Descent. Giang Ly continued to walk forward calmly. So the captain of the Blood Wolf mercenaries is just a turtle hiding in its shell. Giang Ly once again condensed his new skill, the Demon Leopard Seal. This skill was prepared for exactly this reason. He hurled it towards the rock where the man was hiding inside. This single move shattered the defense. Scene change. A few days later in the town of Maikoi. At the Golden Dragon Pavilion, the news was spreading that the Blood Wolf mercenaries were found completely wiped out in the Earth Dragon's cave. According to witnesses, it was the work of a mage in a black cloak. Lum Ma said to Giang Ly with admiration, "Brother Jiang, it looks like you're about to be famous. This mysterious figure is acting just like an overpowered student Webtoon protagonist. Luckily, it seems your identity." The Blood Wolf mercenaries did so many terrible things, so a lot of people want to thank you. What's more, they've even given you a title, the Black Demon. Reading the newspaper, Giang Ly was a bit surprised. He sighed. I hope this doesn't bring me any more trouble. This isn't some Magic Academy manhwa. Just as they were talking, the door creaked open and the two women who entered were none other than Hua Vi and Then Tun. Then Tun spoke first. Giang Ly for the practitioner trial tournament that will decide the new Shish Academy magic ranking. Let's team up. Hua Vi heard this and got instantly annoyed, stomping her foot. Hey, I was clearly here first. Both of them then rushed forward to grab onto the arms of Giang Ly. When did you two even meet? Giang Ly stammered, thinking this was the classic drama you'd find in any Magic Academy manhwa. It seemed that for an over